Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThatUmbrellaGuy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a man.
Like my coffee, extra mad and bitter. Internet lawyer, all like juice, so yeah, the man's a quitter. He's strapped face up behind the platinum grill. I style faceless, just pick these mic skills. And in the street killer, I will not be denied. That I'm mic'd up, I raise my head with pride. A force of nature, cruising the whip, doing walk-bys on your boulevard. Face my verbal clip. In this land of live streams, baby, I'm on the road. Got my feet on the media, scraping them up my souls. It's that umbrella guy facing the accusers. Cleated outside 14s, crushing all those losers. It's that umbrella guy, they said we couldn't make it. Never ask permission, just sense I'll go and take it. The media buzzwords, they will never save you. Listen and believe it's meant to enslave you. Challenging the hypocrites, and baby, I'm on fire. They flash titles like they're royalty, but it's true that I'm a journalist. Scribble nursey rhymes, one in this grill in the basket, with a tisket and a tasket, and their morals in a casket. No morals in a casket. They're always pushing make believe and weaving straw to gold, but I'm sick of all the fairy tales and buying what I'm sold. Strolling into the backyard, taking truth on tour, baby, there is sickness, and that umbrella guy's got the cure. Look, it's that umbrella guy knocking at the door. No more ministry of truth than the plot of 1984. I'm dumping all my verbal clips. The case is filled with knowledge. They're on the mic like kindergarten, and I'm taking them to college. Why the mask, baby? Cause this has to be a crime. I'll take the mic and boom, there in the chalk outline. I used to throw elbows, but now I'm dropping nukes. You wrote another hit piece, isn't that cute? And the worst part, they'll never learn. Did the fourth estate start channeling crash and burn? They pretend that we need to get their permission. That umbrella guy crushing their ambitions. You're not my competition. It's that umbrella. It's that umbrella guy steamrolling them out for fun. Mic check, mic wreck, paging this army of one. There's no hesitation, no doubt, not even a scintilla. The Tokyo baby and me, I'm Godzilla. Crushing them like Godzilla, like Godzilla.
All right, man. Today, today is going to be lit. Ecosystem meltdowns. Shara and the Popo. Mini documents. I mean, it is like a Christmas. In fact, I have to go and tune in to the broadcaster on the ground. Let's see what he has to say. Are you not entertained? Perfect. I am indeed entertained. Oh my Lord. Oh, I've been entertained all day. Oh, I mean, there are meltdowns today. They've been going on all day long. Oh my goodness. So the ecosystem is having some real problems. And it's about accountability. Accountability is causing them some real meal deal issues. Like, no joke, big time. And that's funny to watch because people are starting to ask about where their money went. Imagine that. And one of the things that's been missed in this this whole thing, by the way, there was a little thing. I'm going to go through what happened, by the way, but it's not just one or two people. I mean, people are noticing. The press didn't talk about through there, but they're not noticing the Ray Bone Crusher part, saying, "Don't be in a hurry to give back those people's money." Isn't that weird, man? Huh? Strange. One person asks for accountability. Somebody that gave a lot of money, by the way. They don't feel like their money's going to the place that it's supposed to be going. And guess what happens? They turn on them. They turn on them, of course. Like, it's amazing. This, oh my God, this is exactly what I was saying before, too. Now, when we get into this, too, make sure that you tell people we're live, by the way. That definitely is something you should do. You should also like, that is for free for sure. And if you'd like to go further and you would like to help out independent journalism and the laws, consider supporting the channel through the ye old breadsticks. Oh, man. By the way, I'm going to give these, there's 5 here. I'm going to give them shout outs real quick and then we're going to get going in there, man. Oh, Linda, thanks for the 3 there. Appreciate that. Good times there. Lou, thanks for the that 3 is a super sticker, by the way. Saw it roll in, loved it. Right off the top. Love that there. Lou, thanks for the 2. The life preserver money for all the content. I swear. You're going to need a life preserver today, folks. I mean, this is going to be a good one. You're going to enjoy it today. I'm not even kidding. Mud Dog. Woo, man. Mud Dog, yes. Randy's motion is seriously going to butt hurt BBB. Oh, yeah. Oh, the motion today is going to be, it's going to be the motion of the ocean because we're going to be drowning in content, baby. It's good times there. I mean, it's good. Max Lab, too. Thanks for the 2. Tug, even a court update for Randy. I know, man. I mean, you've got multiple court documents that have popped up. I mean, they all just dropped in. Like, this day has been a crazy one. I kept expecting the ecosystem to blow up sooner or later, though. I really was. Like, I said this before. This isn't a I told you. Well, it kind of is. It's to them. It's I told the people that were backing that there's no accountability. And I told the people putting this on, too, that if you're really wanting to run something legit, you don't run it through super chats, you don't run a fundraiser that way. If you want to back a channel, yes. But if I were running a fundraiser, I would set up a fundraiser so you see how much money comes in exactly. And that would be that. Plus, not as much as taken out. Again, you get some kind of transparency. Well, apparently there was some questions about that from Big Donor. And, well, Big Donor didn't. I got the stone wall, and it got really ugly. It got really ugly in the ecosystem. So you're going to enjoy that today, I think. Oh, man. But, yes, we got the court update, too. Janice, thanks for the 10 there. Good to see you, Tug. Can't wait for the info. Oh, you're going to love it tonight. Like I said, it's going to be good. Joan, 50 there. Wow, thank you. Kicking that off in there, too. Breadsticks to get the haters to flip breadstick. Indeed. I think they're having some problems. They boo-hooed last night. It was so bad that there were tears. There were actually tears from last night. No joke. There were tears. We've done everything. We've done everything we promised. Apparently the donors don't think so. Apparently they have questions. And again, I'm going to put this out there for the donor we're going to talk about. If they'd like to discuss what happened in their concerns, this up. And again, if you really want to talk about what's out there, and if somebody's really open to seeing evidence, again, the evidence in this, you would think at a certain point, you'd be like, there's something wrong here. I don't know how you watch the Shara video from yesterday and you see the words put out by the same people that are telling you, give me money at the very end, and you don't have questions. So if you want to talk evidence or you want to talk your problems, again, I ain't here to judge. I've been saying, you know what? You can look at that and feel like, man, I got slighted. It's okay. No judgment, no laughter, none of that stuff. For real. Because it's wrong. Just like us, Shara, you could be taken to. Tennessee Susie, thanks for the membership there. Thank you very much, Tennessee. Enjoyment there. Thank you. Chris, thanks for the 5 there. Breadsticks for Doug. Breadstick money. Dan Davis, thanks for the gifted membership. And let's do one more. Reed's PokeFan, thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. And we'll catch them up periodically. Like I said, I'm marking them right there. Everybody will get hit. And thank you for your backing. Love all you folks. Man, is that Dan? Are you really out power 107 days? Good Lord, man. That's madness, dude. So there were actually some posts that talked about this stuff that actually came up today in the give me 1 minute. In ye old posting group, which I think were interesting. There were people talking about this today. And again, I'm going to give you some background on this, but you can see where this was the big talk today. Now you'll see some stuff, and again, I'll fill in the blanks for you, make sure you understand. But this was addressed to David, I'll say. David, somebody says, please listen to me. You don't have to like anybody, man. You don't have to like anybody there. But they said, as a fellow Brit, I worry that you've been taken advantage of tremendously. Come on, stop giving your money away to grifters and losers. I mean, do you really think Wapo and Lisa need your money? The grifting will be draining you for life. There are plenty of British charities you could help out. Anything at all. Now, you might be looking at that, and like a lot of people were like, who's David? Who is all of this about? Well, apparently David has given a lot of money. In fact, David dropped a pretty significant amount of money in one of his chats. He dropped a fat stack in one. And when he did, he was under the impression that his money was going a certain way. Like most people. They think that their money is going to certain things. That, everything is going to be paid for. This is for needs and more. And well, they had questions about it because now, well, the grift continues. It just keeps continuing. In fact, you can see proof of that. I mean, in post after post after post on this stuff. I mean, in fact, when you pull up stuff from yesterday, even when all of this is going on and discussing, like, this is fascinating to see here. Check this out. You can see the grift continues. You can see LP right there in the fray talking about, we leave our fence lights on. This was interesting. I'm going to throw this one in here and then we'll put in some more about that. They were talking about, their expenses because people were like, hey, I thought you were in trouble. And they were like, no, we don't run our fence. We run the fence lights because they're pretty. We've removed all Christmas, though, except for the she shed. Wait a minute. I thought the kid didn't have a room, but we got a she shed. Okay, that's fascinating. I just want to throw that in there while I'm getting this going on. But while all this is popping off, you can see there's this discussion about money. Okay. And through it all, you can see the, hey, 2L1, put things on hold, call me quick. Call me quick. You better not give that money back. Don't give up our money, baby. Don't give up our money. See, David there, okay, from the 2L side of it. Again, I'd love to hear your side of this, David. I'd love to hear exactly what you had to say. You could type it out again, or we could speak. It doesn't have to be on air. We could speak through messages. You just write, hey, this is David on an email. Bam, drop it in there. Let's have a conversation. We can have a conversation. We can have we can see exactly what's there. Like I said, I'd like to feel that out. But apparently David had some questions, and he didn't feel that he was going to get answers. Now, things get really spicy. I'll show you more of these, by the way. But things get a little spicy last night because since 2L1 was not answering questions, well, David mentioned something. He went over and asked on a Guapo's channel about there was questions there. Look, there's some discussion, and the discussion goes a little like this. Apparently, you see people asking, when all this talk is coming up, are the 2Ls not scammers? Now, you would have expected an answer like, no, right? I mean, you figured the ecosystem, you're automatically going to have a no, correct? You didn't get that, though. What you got was I don't know. I don't know if they're scammers. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Cracks in the facade, baby. Cracks in the facade. I don't know if they're scammers or not. Aren't y'all telling them to give them money and stuff? I mean, maybe that would be something to know. But again, this causes problems, So all this blows up into conversation. And it's pretty nasty. I mean, it gets crazy. Again, you get crying last night. You don't get answers. I mean, there are a lot of people saying, F David. And I'm not saying that either, David. I've been talking about transparency for a while, In fact, when there are questions, well, somebody's on the case to tell you the person that the money has been going to, Do you have numbers on you? It looks like the trolls are in the chat. By the way, I mean, I would think that people would want clarity, again, about if you're donating money to something being done, you would like to know how much money specifically has been brought in. What is the overall total? Also, on the overall total, how much everything costs. I mean, that would make sense. Now, there are people that are saying, oh, I've been getting emails about that. They explained that, and I feel totally fine. Well, why isn't there public transparency? That would be easy to do. The only problem is if they lock in on a number, people can go back through super chats, and they can actually total up. Now, they don't know how much has been raised outside of it. There's the tricky little thing. How much money has actually been given through? Who knows? I mean, who knows the different ways of picking up? What happens when you're selling rocks, too? Are some of those rocks supposed to go towards charity? I'm not sure. I don't know the setup for that because I haven't really cared to be fucking blunt about it. But how much of that is actually supposed to go towards something? Is that all? Is there a dividing line between where something goes? How could you tell? How much goes to the channel? How much goes to I have no idea. Neither does anyone else. That's the real kicker. Nobody knows where the money's supposed to go. And I mean, if money is meant, like you say, there's a goal of, let's just throw out a number, $7,000. If say a fence, again, I'm just throwing out a number. That's just an arbitrary number. But if they say that was the goal, right? How do you know it's met? I mean, there's the big question, too. Is that the grift that keeps on grifting? But it's fascinating when people start asking questions, they get a lot of fucking hate pointed their way. I mean, here's the kind of statements that you get from those people, right? It's stuff like this. Don't give the bastard the money back. He's a nobody. Now he's a nobody, just like a Shara and everybody else. They're nobodies now. You drop a $500 bill on somebody, you're a fucking nobody if you want freaking clarity on where your money goes. Isn't that amazing? And you notice the other cracks in that too. I went over there. He's not helping Guapo's views, not one bit. Guapo says 168. You got 642. Oh man, cracks in the facade, baby. Cracks in the facade. But isn't it amazing? Again, turning on this guy, they gave quite a bit of money. Now, this continues too, you know. I mean, there are people they're like, they're weaponizing and being like, oh man, you know. They're like, man, are you sure that's the real David? I'm confused. And of course you have MP popping off the whole time too. The whole time asking for stuff. The whole damn time. In fact, this actually, she's noting here, check this out. While all of this questioning is going on, you have things like, we need the plumber. We need a contractor to frame. We need the loft building. Then we can finish later. So, I mean, apparently, this is never ending. This is what I said would happen. It will be a never-ending thing. You know, they're talking about money for more presents. You know, like barn abration, or I don't fucking know what they call it. I'm not even going to pretend to, you know, barn something, you know. We're just talking about money for that. More give, apparently. Christmas, you got to do another barn celebration, but you need plumbers now. You got to have contractors framing things. You got to have buildings. Again, it never stops. And people are questioning where their money's gone. You know, you see a video with somebody riding through, driving their little electric scooter, and you're like, wait a minute. I thought all this money was going toward needs, you know? I mean, isn't that where it's supposed to go? Hitting those needs? And that's the same thing as Shara said. Do you remember that thing with Shara? Isn't that interesting framing for all of this? Remember Shara, in one of the first videos that we actually talked about, she was asking for accountability. And remember, they treated her the same way. They treated her just like David here is being treated. And again, David, I'm not making fun of you for this. I actually feel sorry for you, buddy. I do. I feel fucking sorry for you. Because ultimately, you probably thought you were doing a good thing. But remember, I mean, nobody had any pity for, remember, Shara. Let's just throw this in here while we're talking, just to make sure this is remembered. This is from one of the messages. She's talking to Bruce. This is what she has to say. I'll read it somewhat quickly, you know. But actually, let's skip down. You're an attorney, and I'm asking you to return for the return of my $311 because she lied to me regarding and immediately called me a C and an abuser. Where have we heard that before, by the way? After taking more of my money, and then a little behind-the-scene campaign to harm. And with all of those things, unacceptable. That word's lost there. If you continue to ignore my request for the return of my $311, I'm going to have to go to GoFundMe. I'm trying to avoid that by going to you first. What I don't understand, again, is how you're controlling all the YouTubers covering this case. Are you saying that there when you're doing that same? Doesn't make sense. And the response is, I'm not responsible for your $111. It's ridiculous for you to get me involved in that. I'm just her lawyer. What do you mean? It's the same thing. Nobody's responsible for the money. Nobody's responsible for accountability. You know, if you're running a fucking scam here, and that's what people are asking there. They're asking, are you running a scam there? If you're raising money for a stated goal and it's not going there, that is 100% illegal. That is a very big no-no. You're already having some kind of issues when it comes to clarity on money, when Preston herself is already bragging about how she's got money now. She's got help, she's got money, but yet she's claiming that she's indigent. Does she know how much money's coming in? I wonder too. I mean, like I said, and how do you know, Miss Preston? How do you know how much money's there? Because remember, fundraiser, you've set up many a fundraiser, many a GoFundMe, right? Maybe you're just getting the chicken feed off of that. I'm not really sure. But getting back to our subject here, like I said, when they're talking about all of this stuff, one of the things I did notice that, again, nobody really pointed out on that, they were pointing in, you know, God, Dan, Dan. This is actually a response statement to something where they get on to her. People are like, you know, you have 2L1 crying up there. And she's still asking for shit. And people are like, hey, maybe you shouldn't. In fact, I'll pull that up. And I'll pull this one up in context. But I wanted you to notice this part right up here. Again, old Ray Bone Crusher. It's fascinating. Again, the ecosystem is turned on you, buddy. David, even if you smooth things over, look at what they thought of you. When you stepped out of line for just a second, man, they turned on you. They treated you like a nobody, and they said, no, 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 no money back, buddy. So you can get back in fucking line. They can placate you and give you answers, but really, you saw what they look like there. Maybe you should ask questions, man. You had to have something that you saw that really made you wonder, right? I mean, you did ask questions. When you started asking about accountability, there had to be something in there that sets you off, whether it's, again, background questions, whether it's, again, transparency issues, whatever. You asked for just a little bit of transparency. And they said, oh, yeah, they were going to do that for you. They were going to do that, and they were going to do that. But again, it turned into this big, ugly thing against you. How many hundreds of dollars did you pay for the privilege of that? And they were saying they could do it without you too. But I mean, again, old Ray's there. Don't get in a hurry to return the money. That's not very neighborly and very Christian of you. That's very nasty. Again, if a person feels like they're being cheated, Ray, if you have access to numbers, how the fuck do you have them? But people that gave money don't, by the way. Either A, you have access, or B, you just don't care. You just buy it at face value. But then again, your name's tagged on all this stuff that looks like it's to the ecosystem. So maybe you're a player in the ecosystem. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. But it is disturbing there when, again, all these people turn on a guy that is given quite a bit of money. Now, we also have, interestingly enough, let's see, let me find this one I want to look at. You have, this is the way that it goes. Somebody posted about this, and I want to put this one up here because, well, the screenshots, they actually speak louder than I ever could on this. You see how this starts up, you know? God, Dan. See, there's Dan. This is the Dan that's being responded to, by the way. Dan was like, yo, you keep asking for money and shit. Like maybe talk about yourself another time. Like she's up here crying. She's saying, I gave it all. Haven't I done enough? I bought the fence, the presents. Yeah, but you didn't provide accountability. That's the thing. You know, it'd be like this. If I got $100, I'm just going to put a random number out there again. If I got $100 to buy presents and I supplied $30 worth of presents, you can see where there'd be a problem. I still bought presents. I could say, yeah, I bought presents, but that's not what was there. I could see why people would ask. And the answer to that is, again, God damn, I'm not talking about me. I'm not talking about me and what's going on with Lisa. That's because of her helping me and what they're doing to me. So maybe you need to get over it, Dan. Why don't you shut up, Dan? Maybe you need to get over yourself. I love how they treat people. You got out of line a little bit, Dan. That's who you're backing. Why don't you just get over it? Because ultimately, it's really about her. No matter who it's about her. You notice that. I'm not talking about me, even though, again, you can find over and over again statements about her, about talking about what she needs, about backing me more. You see that over and over again throughout all of this stuff. And even when that's there, she's not doing it, of course, because that happens all the time. When are you people going to wake up from this, by the way? Like, really? I mean that legitly. That's a legit question. When are you going to wake up? What do you need for proof? What do you need to say? Maybe there's something off here. Like, what do you need to see as far as proof of something? Did you watch Shara's last video? Did you see that last screenshot? Does that not disturb you in some way? Did you hear what was said in the body cam footage? When JC was arrested, did you hear that stuff? Doesn't that bother you? Don't you find that to be horrible? Is that where you want your money going? But yeah, what's going on with her is because of her helping me. What they're doing to me. So maybe you need to get over it. Me. I mean, either she's warming up to sing a song for you, baby. She is singing a song. It's called Where's My Cash, Baby? Where's my cash now? And they were dropping some cash still. Because they do. Oh my God. It was astounding watch. I mean, this, whew, it's something else. Let's see. Let me see what else is on that one too. Oh man. I mean, it was just, it was like an implosion. Again, you see the cracks in the echo chamber. They are. And of course, she's like, with this too. She's promising, of course, they wouldn't use that for anything else. Yes, even we understand it, Lisa. I'm in tears. My heart is sick. I would not use that money for anything but the house and what we desperately need. You know, like an electric scooter. They desperately need that to get back and forth in videos. Don't you understand? Get over it. Oh, Guapo, how dare you? Oh my God. You talk about I mean, what does it take, guys? Oh my God. I'm sorry, you have to give me a second. I've been watching this pop off since 4 a.m. today. I got 4 a.m. I had messages from certain people. Props to you, by the way. Appreciate you know who you are. I'm not gonna throw you in, but you know who you are. They were like, maybe you should check out this crazy that's popping off. I saw a couple of clips from last night. I got to see the You know what? On the next Rumble exclusive, I'm sure we'll watch those. Those should be good. Those should be interesting. That way you get to understand exactly the narrative behind everything. How they were like, yeah, it's totally, I was going to be transparent with him. I wasn't going to do it publicly, by the way, though. I was going to do it behind the scenes. That really weirds me out. Why do people have to be contacted behind the scenes to tell you about how much money is raised? Why does somebody have to get to the point where they have a public problem? I mean, it's easy enough. You just drop it in a spreadsheet. You talk about how much money's there, but you'll lock in a total. And if that total, there's even a statement now, maybe I misunderstood that, but there was a statement that was like, nobody knows how much was actually brought. Do you mean nobody knows as in the people on this side of the screen? Or do you mean the people on the nobody, as in nobody knows how much? Because somebody would know how much, for sure. I'm curious about that statement, too. Again, could put all that to rest. You could have stopped. Dan, like I said, even with you, man, that's bad. And David, okay, so David's the guy that's asking questions. Dan's the one that got insulted there. Dan, get over yourself. I mean, okay. Hope you enjoyed that. But David, even if, again, they placate you, bud, like I was saying, even if they answer your questions, there were dozens and dozens and dozens of people calling you out, saying you were a nobody. You don't matter, man. Because you, just like now you got the Shara treatment. You got the slug treatment. You asked a question. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. I mean, really, you think about that. If you get back in line, if you know your place, I mean, that's your prerogative. It's your money. You do whatever you want with it, ultimately, at the end of the day, man. But, oh, LMNOP said the money was donated to her and John. They need to decide what happens to it. Yeah, I mean, okay, it is their money. You know what? Here's the thing. I do not like them at all, because I look at what's gone on in this and I feel like I get a good grasp of who they are. But that being said, the money was indeed donated to John Cook, and it was donated to Lynette Preston. It was not donated to 2Ls. It was not donated to a lawyer. It was not donated to any side people. It was donated to them. But the caveat on that, it was donated for a specific reason. So in that super chat, you know, let me pull that up here, actually, while we're talking here. You know, there's two layers on it. I want to make sure that what I say here makes sense, you know. It was indeed donated to them. But as far as deciding what happens to it, no. No. You can decide what happens to it. But here's the thing. Again, if I say that I'm raising money for X and I spend it for Y, that's scamming. So you don't just get to decide. Now, if there's leftover money, again, that's the problem with them not setting goals, though. Like when they didn't set one down, and I'm talking, you know, Bonnie, like I said, I'm agreeing with what you say here too. I see what you're saying in there, and you're quoting them, you know. So this is not directed at you, by the way. I'm just noting that. Okay, so nobody think I'm saying this toward Bonnie, you know, because the statement there is her quoting people. All right, so if there's leftover money, there's a problem with that. And that's the problem. Again, there was no clarification on how much something cost. If people are donating to needs, they're saying we desperately need. Like the money is, all of this money that's being given, they're not meeting their basic needs. They're desperately needed money. Like that's strange to me. Again, because they're saying that right out openly. And there is a lot of money changing hands. And again, it's not my money. You spend it on whatever suckabat you want to, you know? I mean, ultimately. But again, looking at what she had to say with that. And thank you, Bonnie, by the way. Appreciate that. I was just bringing that up because you brought up a good point in the statement. I agree with part of it. You know, again, it isn't 2L's money. It wasn't all these other people's money. It was supposed to be for a stated purpose to those people, but it was for a stated purpose. But again, they're talking about, you know, and what we desperately need. It's for the house and what you're not meeting their basic needs. I mean, what are their basic needs anymore? It's just wild. And again, they were talking about, well, I used money for this. I didn't take any money. How would anybody know? How would they know that? And again, people will point at me and be like, oh, that umbrella guy's being an asshole again. No, man, I'm talking about something that should have happened from go. Don't you think it should have happened from go? But you see the breakdown in there again. You see the breakdown. It's not just going after David. It's sending a message to many other people out there that you don't matter if you ask questions. Like I said, you can watch it happen to other people and ignore that. But it will happen to you too. It will, once you ask something, but your money's already given away. So I guess it's too late when that happens, right? Man, like I said, I seeing old Ray there right in the front and center. Wow. I mean, again, ecosystem unite, except it wasn't. Again, you have somebody being like, I don't know. And again, people are turning on one. It's just a shit show. And it shows you, number one, the cracks. They also have moles. They know that. They know they have moles in their freaking rank and file too. Who are they? Maybe they're people that are speaking out, or maybe they're the people who played a little too nice. I don't know. Maybe that's hard to smoke out, huh? Yeah, maybe those people. Maybe there'll be more after this too. Like I said, all joking aside, though, I do not like how Dave, like again, if I had a need in my life and I told you about it and you helped me out with my need in my life, I would be happy that you did that. I would be very appreciative that you did that. I mean, heck, just doing this, you all support what we do, but that's different. I'm not telling you, man, you know what? I got to go build on my new she shed. A fucking she shed, by the way. Huh. Where's the little one? Man, I don't know, man. It weirded me out too. But there were a lot of people posting about this too. I'm gonna show you some other stuff in just a minute. But there, during the questioning too, you know, again, all of this starts coming up all day yesterday. And again, there were questions like Wendy here. I'll read her statement. Then we'll talk about some Shara on top of this, okay? Wendy was like, why when there is an issue with a main donor on it, Crook, you have to go straight to your live and make David look bad for asking questions? Yeah, why is that? Why put him on blast and make him look horrible? Why was that? Why go to attack? Why is that? Huh? It's not his responsibility to provide a home. This is their quote for the hillbillies. They have enough money to do it and chose not to. I find it very insulting to David. A downer on him after all he's done. Can you spend 10 minutes to call him to dispel his fears? Why not? Again, I'm not attacking. Like, again, I vehemently disagree with giving money to these people. But it's your money. I can again, like I said many times, there's no transparency. Is that not a problem for you? But if you have a problem, and again, you've seen so much stuff about what's been said. Evidence more. If you still want to throw your money at it, it's your money. But I do have a problem with the way that David here was treated. I do. I have a very big problem with that. You're hiding what he's donated because you're trying to hide it from the tax man. That in itself shows you dodging shouldn't be trusted. Huh? Is that what it's about? Are we trying to deceive the tax man? Is that what it's about? Because again, there is an issue with saying that people are indigent and collecting lots of money and then doing this weird jacked up way where money goes into another person's account and that person is quote unquote paying for things. Like, that seems really weird, doesn't it? And again, you have her bragging about how she has money now. I mean, it's just weird. And again, I don't see how an LP and a JC would trust anyone else to hold their money. Like, I would never let somebody bank money. But again, I guess they have to because it's their PR there. How do you know they're being transparent? How do you know that? Maybe they could show you numbers on YouTube. But how do you know about every other place? Do they have a Cash App? Do they have a Venmo? Do they have a PayPal? Do memberships count, by the way? Do they get the memberships? Do they count on the channel? Or do you get it? How does that hack up? How do you know exactly what's for what? Is it all money there? I mean, again, it's very confusing. That's why I don't run any kind of a charity through that. Again, if I were going, like when we talked about Jeff in Needs, for example, you notice that was set up. It was set up on a page where you could see how much money came in. You knew what the goal was for it. Everything was transparent there. 100%. You could just see how much money came in. That's the way that it should be. And that was necessary, by the way. It was. Love to Jeff, man. Not comparing anything to anything. I'm saying that is the way that should be done, though, with anything. And it's very easy to set up that way. But again, it ends the grift at the end. You're going to run into, after they meet the number. And the number that was put out, by the way, in the past. Remember, there was actually a statement about that in the past. Let me see. I had that pulled up earlier. You miss it. Yeah. Remember, there was a statement back when, talking about building and needs, and the numbers that I've heard thrown around actually should have met those needs. Let's see this actually. So there was a statement back when talking about, and again, it had Jeremy's name attached to it. Remember, builder, including framing, everything, wanted $15K. Only going to have $7K. Need to raise $8K. Wish Jeremy would raise the rest for me. That's what it says there. So surely by now, man, I mean, this thing has been running wide open for how long? On top of that, I wonder, gift cards. Like, what's up with the gift card thing? Like, how's that work out? What about presents? I mean, presents, I guess, are supposed to go. Where did that go? Didn't they go to the 2 L's? And then they put things together. So, I mean, what's bought that was part of that too? Like I said, I'm confused here. The gift cards kept repopulating too. So how many of those were actually bought? Like that, there's so many layers of this. And I would hope people would ask questions. But again, they just get their marching orders and they just go blindly into the nether. Meanwhile, people who post things and talk about it, we started talking about this yesterday. This is about Shara. Okay, so Shara yesterday posted a banger of a video, an absolute banger of a video. If you have not watched it, by the way, I've got to give her channel love before we get into this. I want to show you something. I mean, this is great numbers. Like, actually, she put together a good video. She's getting recognition for it too. She has crossed over 5,000 subscribers so far. By the way, Shara, hopefully your channel probably can be monetized. Maybe you can get your $311 back this way. If you're not getting ads yet, if you haven't set up or applied for monetization, if you don't know how, like, reach out. I would gladly tell you how to turn that on. You know, it's just it's a couple of switches. Tick, tick, tick. And again, it's paid for by ad revenue that you know, it's clicked up. You don't have to ask for anything. You don't have to accept super chats. If you don't, I would suggest that you do, honestly, because again, you're running independent journalism. People appreciate what you do. Let them support you, but it should be there. But still, 5,000. Okay. And on top of that, look, the newest video right now, it's closing in on 30,000. Now that's good. That's what I expect off a video where I haven't done videos lately. That's what I expect from one of these. So 30,000, man, that's good. That's actually a good place for her. I mean, look at that. A lot of people showed up. But she also got something really nasty out of this. There's a point I'm rehashing so you know exactly what went on with this, because ye old popo. Along with that, there was this. And this, again, we talked about this last night. It was, I'm not surprised, but I am stunned by the audacity, because this is just, how do you take this besides a threat? And Shara did take this as a threat. I mean, she's been threatened enough times by these people on channels and stuff. She's actually been threatened with everything from exposure to worse. I'm going to say a lot worse in a lot of ways. So how would you take it? If you were in Shara's shoes, how would you take this post? Because I know how I took this post. When I saw it at first, I was like, whoa, you have to be kidding me. Give me 1 second, by the way. I'm pulling something up here. I'm actually refreshing something too. In the moment, I want to check something real fast just to see how this is working out. Give me a second. I'm just checking something to make sure there's no statements. But read this with me, okay? Shara, my friend, been looking at your information and family. The real golden key is going to drop in 48 hours. Your son will be first. That's creepy. Is that not creepy to you all? Y'all not take that as not an implied threat? Don't you take that as a just straight up threat? Because that's how I take that. Like when I looked at it, I was like, whoa, wait, the what now? So Shara took it as a threat too. She saw this. She was like, She posted something to her community tab. Now, your community tab, it's pretty clear. Give me a second here. So as far as the community tab, this is on YouTube, by the way. She posted this. What is that, by the way? Give me 1 second. Yes.
I just got done with my cosplay.
Well, let's go. You'll have to show it to me afterwards, okay?
Yeah, I couldn't do like the whole character, put on like a cardboard box and stuff, because that would take like weeks to finish.
Right. But you got the headband and all that.
Yeah, I got the headband, I got the gloves, I got the tail.
That's cool. I'll look at it right after this. But
yeah.
Cool.
Can you tell them I finished my scratch
yes,
cosplay?
yes. You have been working on your cosplay. You've been working on your design. I will tell them all about it.
Okay, better.
I will definitely tell them. Okay. Not so little umbrella girl. Yes, she has been working on her quote unquote cosplay. She's actually been she does some amazing artwork. I mean, it is. I know parents say that anyway, but she does some amazing stuff. And she's been working on like there's a character that's got like a paper face and a paper thing across their head. So she's been recreating that, and I saw part of it already, and it looked good. So she wanted me to note that. Let me turn my monitor thing back on. Give me a second. I'll let it shift up. I had to turn it off. Okay, so I'm sure you could still see that, but I couldn't see what's on the screen. So this was posted by Shara. Now, I don't know about you, but I kind of recognize what's going on in this. Shara's letting you know that she took this stuff seriously too. And she should. She definitely should. There have been a number of threats that have been made toward her that's continued to go on and on and on. She is, again, make this clear for all the morons out there that cannot understand this. She is a federal witness. That is big time. You talk about messing around, you make real threats, legit ones. You might not just be dealing with local law enforcement. You might be dealing with other agencies as well. This is also when you start dealing with cyber crimes, and that is a definite cyber crime. You can take that as a very threat. There's another investigative body that deals with those. Maybe you should look that up because they can be pulled into this too. As far as anonymity, that can be stripped. Anonymity does not allow you to make overt threats. So, again, all of this is 100%, it's aimed at her because she's been talking about this case. And she's a witness. Before, if you think that it's not because she has decided to reveal what she knew. And again, remember what she posted yesterday to remind the class out there, just to say, I really, again, I'm not trying to rehash a point. I'm trying to make a point with what Shara was actually showcasing. I mean, Shara went to the degree of posting messages in. And again, this is the one that I think really hit home. I'm going to read through this again, because right after this, you get threats. And remember, the threats weren't coming, it kills me because people tell us all the time, oh, Jeremy Hales, blame Jeremy. We say that as a joke, but for real, they blame Jeremy. Did you see people like Shara getting horrific threats publicly? Did you see that before? No. She said she didn't fear. She wasn't afraid for her safety and her family's safety before. But when she starts talking about this, when she starts posting, isn't it interesting? I'm not saying who did it, by the way. In fact, you should not contact anyone associated with this stuff at all. That's our PSA. But isn't it interesting? So she posted a message yesterday that, again, you can tell who it's from just by reading this. Quote, you have to realize, too, that John likes me isolated. He thinks I'm going to let him spend time with the baby alone. I'm not, because the baby said something to me. And after she said what she did, oh, 1 second. I got a kid coming. Give me 1 minute. Got to stop that. Turn that on. Yeah. Oh, you got your stuff. You made a tail and everything.
Yeah. The gloves do not work.
Give me 1 minute.
The gloves are not gloving.
Yeah, so you make gloves?
Yeah, I'm
like little
scraps.
claws. That's awesome. That's cool.
I don't think I made the cup right.
She made a tail. She made like little claws, like gloves. You know, made.
Yeah, the character I'm trying to cosplay is Scraps from Dandy's World, and I made this entirely out of paper.
It's good looking. I like it.
I made it with 3 simple things: paper, tape, and scissors.
That's amazing. Very good job. For real, it looks great there, though. Yeah. I like the fact that you made a tail with it.
Compared
gloves, headband.
to the character I'm trying to cosplay. She has a tail. Yes, she does. This is another skin. Okay, right here. You see?
That looks good. That looks really good. I like it.
Yeah, of course I can't do the whole thing because if I tried to make her into a whole cosplay, then that would take like 1,000,000 years.
Right. Well, it looks good.
Yeah. Also, guys,
are you gonna make the face mask?
No.
No, too much work.
Too much. But I made the cup entirely out of paper too.
That looks good, actually. All right.
Break the tail.
Well, be careful with it. You'll destroy it if you're not careful. You know, since it's paper, it easily destroys too.
Don't get it wet. Easy.
Yeah, don't step on it or wad it up. Make sure you set it aside and put it in one of the drawers in the table, you know?
Yeah, honestly, it's pretty easy to make it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for showing it to me. I like it. I like it quite a bit.
I tried to make Scraps from Dandy's World into a cosplay. Right. And it worked. Finally.
Well, I like it. You're very excited about it. I like it. Looks good. Good job, kiddo.
Yeah.
She loves making stuff, man. Checking it out there. All right, give me a second. She's growing up fast. Yes, she is. Well, she's 11, man. And time flies, doesn't it? Hey, close the door, kiddo, if you would too. Thank you. That's how I can hear them. All right, let me fire my my monitor back up. Give me a second. So I had an idea when, like, you'll still be able to see what's up there, but I don't change out stuff on this side. I just kill everything. So the monitor goes out because I was like, man, you know, we cover some pretty dreadful things and I don't want them on the screen. Like, this part needs to be separate, you know, because it's horrific stuff. So, all right, it's fired back up there. Anyway, like I was saying, Shara posted a video. If you didn't watch her video yesterday, you should, by the way. You should really go in and catch up her videos, period, because there's so many layers, intricacies. There's a lot. There's a lot there. And I think you would learn a lot from it. But again, yesterday, I would think this would be enough for people to at least ask a question. Like, what the heck? That, again, it's not just that either. Remember they tried to say that Shara, by the way, was using AI to make some of this stuff up? Well, isn't it weird that, you know, some of that, and people bought that, by the way. They did, even though part of it was body cam footage. Was AI making the body cam footage too? How does that work? You know, I've never understood that idea. Like she supposedly used AI to make the voices. It's like, okay, except again, how does AI work into her statements made to the police? And again, at the end of her video, she said this. I'm going to read it quickly because I don't want to dwell on it. Again, this should have been enough for people. You have to realize too that John likes me isolated. He thinks I'm going to let him spend time with the baby alone. And I'm not, because the baby said something to me. And after she said what she did, I'll never leave him alone with her again. Not to mention the fact that one of the allegations that was made to the CPS was that he, I'm going to say, molested. I'm going to go with that. Well, her Well, the allegation was made because I told, it says tree stranger when you read it. Again, it's supposed to be Granger. That I don't like it when he's short, hiked all the way up, and his butt shows and the baby is right there. And when I tell him to knock it off, he tells me to shut the bleep up. He can do whatever the hell he wants. And I tell him, don't let the baby play with your chest hairs. Don't go into the covers with the baby. Don't kiss her on the mouth. And he tells me to shut up. He's not one of my effing, I'm going to say, offender husband. But I'm telling you, why would my daughter say what she said? I can't prove it, so I can't turn it in. And I'm not turning it in because I don't want to lose my daughter, but I'll keep her away from my life. He's in the camper. That's what it says. He's in the camper. Threw me off. And I'm in the shed. I have no clue what he's doing. That right there should have been something. I looked at it and I'm like, well, that should be enough to make people go, right? Anybody, at least ask questions. Yeah. But instead, Shara gets threats. And Shara, again, she's gotten an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. That was a message that was thrown her way as well. This stuff is serious, by the way. Like I said, I feel like this case is crazy. There's insanity to it, but there's an ugliness in this too, a nastiness. And so Shara went to the police. She needed to go to the police. Excuse me, I rolled my cigar. I'm glad that she did. Because when she's exposing the things that she does, remember, she talked about her allegations in court were that a hitman was being discussed. There's a person talking about a hitman. Now that should terrify. It should make you go, And the people are like, oh, well, that's not enough. You saw the screenshots. Like, don't the screenshots talking about, again, you get to a certain age where life imprisonment don't mean all that stuff looks very threatening, doesn't it? So, of course, she needs to take her safety very seriously. She went to the police. But also, what I'm curious about is whether or not we're actually going to have a visit to ye old judge, because ye old judge should actually be told about this stuff too. See, that's the thing. Like, it isn't just that. Like, it should go further, for sure. I see this stuff and I think, you have got to be kidding me, right? The bravo to Shara for actually going out. Bravo to Shara for putting together videos that really, I mean, it really goes out and it talks about stuff that people should see. And if people refuse to see it, I don't know what you can do anymore with it. Now, with this, we got a filings. We got a few filings today. In fact, we got some filings that, well, they should really be. Let's actually pull them all up here. Let's see. Okay. I'm aligning them real quickly. Gosh, there's a bunch of them. I don't know if we'll be able to do them all tonight. Give me 1 minute here. Okay, so check this out. All right. I'm letting it load here. There we go. Number 1, we have a motion to compel court documents. That's interesting, right? Motion to compel. This is an interesting filing, by the way. On top of that, we also have, in 1 second here, we have first request for production of documents to defendant, LMNOP. Now, as far as that's concerned, going back to it, we have, again, there's a bunch here. That's why I'm like, I mean, I don't know if we can get all this. We have the response from Lynette Preston. That's talking about discovery and choices there. Woohoo. And we also have, let's see, could be another one. Yes, there's more. If you're like, wow, we have the defendant John Cook's response to plaintiff's document requests. All of this is hitting all at once, by the way, just a note. And on top of that, we have, well, we have our email that goes along with this, the counsel email. Let me pull this up here too. So we have this as well. Now, isn't that something? Aren't you amazed? Man, John, dude, I saw those come in, by the way, dude. That's amazing. Thank you, brother. Now, let's look. I will hit everything, like I said. I will hit it in due course, too. You know, this case, I very much think this case is important. I hope when you look at it, I hope when you see this that you can, anybody outside of it, again, if you can't just ask a question and be like, yo, this seems a little bizarre, doesn't it? If you can't even ask that, you should be able to. But beyond that, I would hope that people look at what Jeremy Hales has said and think maybe if you thought, some of this was the bad neighbor narrative, you know, all that bullshit that was put out there, maybe you'd be like, like, again, if a person says with themselves that something's true, that kind of puts a little hamper on it, doesn't it? So let's look at this, though. Now, this is a motion to compel the production of documents. Get them documents, baby. So they're actually talking about getting their discovery on. They tried to compel discovery. Now, this is where things will get interesting when discovery, you know, that's the portion of everything that's like, saucy, baby, you know? So, motion to compel. Plaintiff Jeremy Hales, bind through undersigned counsel, pursuant to you can see all of that, blah, 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 blah. Hereby files a motion to compel the production of documents. We will call that the motion. The motion. I challenge you to a whole day of no caffeine, no tobacco. Try it, Mr. Chicken. I don't know about that. You know what you get from me? I actually have been drinking a lot more water. As far as tobacco, I can do it a day for sure because I only smoke a cigar while I'm doing this. So as far as that, I'll just be like no live stream with a cigar. So it's doable for sure. You know, it is. But as far as like no caffeine on a day, I'll be tired, very tired. But I'm eliminating a lot more of it. I'm drinking a lot more water. I've been rolling that way. Get a little more healthy again, you know, because I need to. In fact, tonight, listen to this. That's water, baby. That's some water. Now there's a Coke over here too, but this is water. It's the same Coke I've had all day, interestingly enough. And today I'm eating vegetable soup. We made some homemade vegetable, actually very good stuff, by the way. I love it. It's the perfect winter time for it. So as far as healthy food and everything else, we are actually eating healthy right now too. Good stuff. But anyway, thank you, too. I appreciate that. I highlight everything, like I said there. So this is, again, hereby files a motion to compel the production of documents, aka the motion of the document ocean from element OP and JC, together the defendants, seeks the entry of an order from this court compelling discovery from defendants. We want to get our evidence, for sure. That's what that's about. We want to get our evidence. Background. On November 12th, 2024, plaintiffs served each defendant the plaintiff's first request for production of documents. That would be the RFP, request for production, RFP. Each RFP contains identical 20 requests to produce. A copy of those is attached. Again, that is one of the things that we see, okay? That is, again, the documents that are shown, and we will actually look at those. Actually, here's a question. Do you want to see what was requested? It's identical. So do you want to see Exhibit 1 as it comes up? Do you want to see what was there first? We can save it to the end, but you can actually see what's asked for. So do you want to see Exhibit 1 first? If that's a yes, or do you want to continue with this document? I'll give you a choice. We'll see who... Okay. Yeah, it looks like people want that first. Okay. We'll look at it again. They're identical. Okay. So you've got to remember that. There are identical documents. And then there's responses. We may not get the responses today. All right. Now, this actually has a address in it. So I'm going to roll through. Again, this is in the court now. Now, when it says, when I say there's an address on this is the court document itself. Okay, so this is filed. It is a Shocket one, but I'm skipping over that part just to say, okay, if you see the law office addresses, I mean, again, that's everywhere. But you can see, this is what they request. This request requires production of documents or things in your possession, custody or control, and for documents or things that are in possession, custody, and control of your agents, employees, accountants, attorneys, representatives, and other persons who have documents deemed to be in your possession, custody, or control. So anybody that's got any kind of documentation or items that we're talking about, anybody, it's not just you that has it, by the way. Now, this is interesting because how is PR seen? Maybe this is a Randy question. There are people out there that say that they are the PR for these people. They are raising money for them and more. How does that work? Are they a representative? I mean, if I said that somebody was my PR, my voice, wouldn't they be my representative? I'm just curious about that. So I'd be curious about how that states, I'm curious about that. So unless otherwise specifically stated, all requests call for the production of all responsive documents prepared, received, or dated at any time prior to and including the date of production. If any objection is made to any document requests, the objection shall state with specificity all grounds. All documents must be produced as they are kept in the usual course of business, or must be organized or labeled to correspond to the categories of documents requested below. Now, again, it's going to lay out. I always like the layout of this stuff. So you understand. It's like, give me everything. This is what these documents are saying. Now, if any information requested below is withheld based on a claim that is privileged or otherwise protected from disclosure, you're requested to furnish a list specifying each document for which the privilege is claimed, together with the following information where appropriate, with requests for each document. So, if you want to withhold something, saying, I can't show that because privileged information. Well, you need to have a date appearing on the document, no date, the date it was prepared, the name of the persons or person or persons by whom the document was prepared, document was signed, name of each person who signed the document, the name of each person to whom the document is addressed, the name of each person other than the addressees identified above or identified in C again above, to whom the document or the copy thereof was sent or with whom the document was discussed, the name of persons or persons who have custody, currently have custody of the document, specified grounds on which the claim of privilege rests. You have to describe, like, how are you saying that this is privileged? Because if you want to withhold something, baby, you got to tell us why. The paragraph or subparagraph of this request to which each document responds, the general nature of each document, number of pages, sufficient description of the subject matter to allow its description. As to any requests that is claimed to be overbroad or seek irrelevant documents, please indicate whether any responsive document or subcategory of responsive document are conceded. So if they're like, oh, you're being overly broad when you ask for things, well, why don't you tell us what that means? Okay, like again, laying out the rules here, all right? Tell us, are conceded to be discoverable and the identity of the documents or subcategory of documents to be produced. As to the requests that is claimed to be unduly burdensome, expensive, or oppressive, or to which a similar objection is asserted, please provide the following. Again, you can see the legalese in this too. The approximate number and or volume of responsive documents, location and manner of which they're maintained, any particular unusual burden or effort required to produce those, the estimated cost in producing said documents, any other fact that goes along with that. For any request document that are no longer in existence or which cannot be located, identify and describe the document as completely as responsible or as possible, rather. So if it's been destroyed or it's somehow flashed out of existence, describe it as best you can. State when and how the document passed out of existence and why it's no longer located. State whether it was lost, destroyed, discarded, or provided to a third party. Identify any such third party. Identify each person having knowledge of the documents. Again, you see how this loops in a lot of people, right? You see that when we're talking about a document, like, who all has this been in the hands of? What's that? Maybe we can find it again. Stating additional information. Anything stamped again. See the CCs on that. Whenever a document is not produced in full, state with particularity the reason for that. Like, why exactly aren't you giving it to us? File folders are produced intact. Documents attached to each other should not be separated. Computerized information, electronic information are to be produced in an intelligible and readable format. Make sure we can see it. Words in the singular, included their plural. You can see where people would try to get around something. Conjunctive and or, again, they tell you about each pronoun should include, and they tell you how that goes in. Now look at this. Now this is all, they tell you definitions. Now we will not go through definitions. Now they tell you certain things. Like again, they define times, like stuff like this. We don't need to, when they talk about a document, for example, I mean, this includes everything in its mother. This is standard boilerplate that you expect, right? You want every document in its mother, right? You're talking about everything. Again, you can see I'm not going to hit everything on here because this would take all day. I'm just giving you an idea. Correspondence, communication, writing of every kind, computer printouts, memorandums, minutes, notes, opinions, permits, photographs, plans, sketches, messages, telexes, beeper numbers. Again, they define terms, who the plaintiff is, who the defendant is, element OP on this. Relevant time period means between the 1st of 2020 to date. Now the requests. So check these out here. Enjoy this, okay? Number 1, all documents and communications related to any allegations in this matter, including but not limited to all communications you have had with any person or entities named in this complaint or named in plaintiff's response in opposition to your motion for summary judgment. So, you notice that any communications. else that you've had relating to the allegations in this. Anything that you've talked about there. That includes, again, responses. All of these are the people named in that. So we're talking about the 2 L's. We're talking about BBB. Now, BBB is going to try to claim, again, privilege. That's why we have all these rules about privilege. Well, if you're going to claim privilege, then you need to state exactly how that works. All documents and communications relating to plaintiff that you have had with any person or entity, including without limitation the following people: Russell Meeks, your co-defendant. That would be, again, it's to LMNOP, so that'd be JC. Molly Hughes, whatever. Jeremy Hales, the Grangers, George. Amanda Martin, that would be former victim's advocate. Rhett Cunningham, Amanda Martin's son, married to Groot. Former Otter Creek clerk. Dana West. Don Sereno, the former Otter Creek council member. Stewart. I was like, wait a minute, am I reading that right? Former Otter Creek council member. Steve Warren, former Otter Creek attorney. Thomas Collins. Zim. Marcia Gale, mother of LMNOP. Patty Hill, sister of LMNOP. Debbie Preston, Michelle Preston, the daughter of LMNOP. Again, another daughter of LMNOP, the son-in-law of LMNOP, the stepdaughter of LMNOP, daughter of LMNOP's stepdaughter's mother. Again, you can see all the communication. I'm just going through these so you can see, like, they're including everyone they can think of. Landon, Landon, baby. That might get interesting, right? To see some of those communications. Grandson of LMNOP. Tyra, that would be the girlfriend. Jamie Johnson. Again, we know Jamie. Jessica Munford, prior joint resident. Jim Culbertson, prior joint resident. Andrew Campbell, person assisting LMNOP with obtaining Winn-Dixie food. Chad Van Kampen, who worked on your property in Otter Creek. A bunch of other names here, including Shara Wolf. Oh, man, produce those things to Shara that were there. Again, produce everything. Again, you see an army of names here. This is, again, they're like anything you talked about. Anyone you communicated with. Number 3, all documents relating to any statement attributed to you in the complaint or in plaintiff's response in opposition to your motion for summary judgment, including all exhibits, including but not limited to documents, communications, to any investigation into the truth or falsity of any statement attributed to you in the complaint or in plaintiff's response in opposition to your motion for summary judgment by you or anyone else. Again, you're going to have all documents, communications. It will say that quite a bit, concerning. So I'll skip, if it says all documents, communication, I'll just say, everything concerning the steps you have taken to preserve everything relevant to this lawsuit, including everything responsive to the requests, all phone records sufficient to show all phone numbers and providers you used during relevant time periods. So phone contact. And all documents, including mobile phone billing records, showing the calls you made. You would find out about this again. There were calls that were made. Calls that, again, were made. There was a call made during a protective order, for example. Hey, why don't you show us the phone records doing that? Showing all calls you made or received during the relevant time period relating to the allegations. And again, or in plaintiff's response to. So I'm going to say all complaint, because it's the response. Actually, I'll say complaint or plaintiff's response. That's the way I'll do. So 6, everything of which you are aware to refute any statement attributed to you in the complaint or plaintiff's response about plaintiff. Okay. Documents are everything. I went with that. I'm used to just saying everything. Sufficient to identifying all usernames, handles, aliases. You can see what they're looking for with this stuff. See, this gives you an idea of some of the things that are looked for. So anything that deals with usernames, handles, aliases, or other identifiers you have ever used on social media to publish information about the client by name or otherwise. So any other name that you've used, because there have been a lot. That's the allegation, right? There have been a lot of them. So any of them. And this ain't going to be like when you're in Levy County. We're talking about a magistrate that ain't joking around. 8, everything that you have produced to Levy County, Florida, and or any federal or state governmental agency about the plaintiff, rather. So anything you talked about with Levy County or any other federal or state governmental agency about Jeremy Hales. Number 9, all engagement letters, invoices, documents otherwise sufficient to identify all of the attorneys with whom you have attorney-client relations in connection with any civil litigation to which you are a party and or any civil or criminal litigation, grand jury testimony, state or federal investigations relating to the plaintiff by name or otherwise. Identify your attorneys. Everything upon which you plan to rely to assert the existence of any privilege, including attorney-client privilege, work product, etc. 11, documents sufficient to show the number of online views and or impressions of any post or any of your social media accounts, including but not limited to YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, etc. Mobile phone records sufficient to show all phone numbers and providers you use between January 1st, 2021 to date, and all documents, give me a second, I gotta clear my throat. Sorry about that. Including mobile phone billing records showing the calls you made and received between January 2021 to date relating to the plaintiff by name or otherwise. GPS records from any automobile navigation systems or other mobile device sufficient to show your location from May 11th to May 14th, 2023. So you get specific days there, May 11th to May 14th. Where exactly were you on those days? Were you in your car? Do you have navigation system? Also, mobile devices. Tracking down exactly where you were for those specific days. All documents, number 14, relating to any claim referenced in this lawsuit generated by, prepared for, or reviewed by a consulting expert who is not designated to testify in this trial. Oh, look at this, baby. Look at that. This is about the quote unquote expert. Oh, shit. Oh, I love it. I love this one. Remember the handwriting expert that I said they never planned on bringing in? Well, number 14 is a request for production of that. So that's awesome. Oh my God, that's amazing. Yes, you remember ye old handwriting guy that they tried to use as a social media bludgeon? You know, the guy that said, from handwriting, I can actually tell that you went through trauma as a 12-year-old. Yeah. They're like, well, why don't you anything? Again, that's what it's saying there. Listen to that. All documents relating to any claim referenced to this lawsuit generated by, prepared for, or reviewed by a consulting expert who is not designated to testify in this trial, whose opinions or reports may have been reviewed by or relied upon by experts. The CB, including a bibliography for each consulting expert who is not designated to testify. You know, again, so they want the CV for the person. So exactly, see, this is where it gets funny, because when you get down to their CV, remember, that's where they had real problems. You know, when you were talking about that quote unquote expert, remember, they had some real issues. That is freaking awesome right there. They're like, not only show us any documents or anything, correspondence, whatever, but also show us their CV. So again, you know, show us why exactly they're a quote unquote expert. And this person, remember, courts have shot them down again and again because of what was there. Maybe there's other ones. Who knows? I mean, I figure there's not other ones, but maybe there are. All documents used by you for the purposes of refreshing the recollection of any witness prior to testifying at a hearing, depot, trial. 17, for each fact for lay witness you expect to testify at the trial. All documents reviewed by, prepared by, relied upon, etc. All documents evidencing communications relating to your investigation of any claim referenced in this lawsuit. All documents relating to the plaintiff that you obtained from any source other than the plaintiff. And all documents in the files of your attorney in this lawsuit dated before the date this complaint was filed with the court relating to plaintiff, including without limitation communications to third parties. So all those third party communications, all documents in the file of your attorney in this lawsuit relating to plaintiff, including without limitation communication to third parties. Hey, who all have you been talking to about the client? BBB. Who all have you gone out and tried to recruit? That could actually be quite amazing. Now, let me see. I think the other one I'm rolling past. The other, by the way, if you're looking at this and you see other page numbers on that, that's because John Cook's was also included with the document. Okay. So if you look at that and you think, man, there are a lot of pages, you just skip that umbrella guy. I did not skip a bunch of pages. It's redundancy. It's the same requests for John Cook. So that's Exhibit 1. Now, on or about the December 12th, 2024, after 6 p.m., defendant's counsel responds and produce nothing. The production responses. The production responses, we have those. Those actually, you know, we actually have those again. They go through objections, you know, the objections. We'll actually cover that. And those we'll cover later. We don't need those right now. Okay. The production responses began with 3-page general objections. Regarding general objections, United States Magistrate. Oh, they're quoting the magistrate. Oh. So the general objections that they have, quoting the magistrate judge. That's slick. Oh, snap. Aside from being a poor strategy, really, what is the point of doing this? Such general objections violate local rules and are improper. See, again, you know, they give you a case stating that an objection cannot be set out generally for an entire set of discovery documents. So as far as their general boilerplate objections, they quote the magistrate themselves. That is slick. You want to quote a case? Quote the guy that actually is around. Oh my God, that's amazing. Randy, you beast. Oh my God. That is slick. That is slick. I mean, think about it. You can quote case law. Why quote case law when you can quote judges that are actually part of something? Isn't that beautiful? That is so beautiful. Thus, defendant's general objections are akin to no objection at all and fail to provide a basis for refusing to provide plaintiff with requested discovery. Oh my God, that's amazing. Defendant's improper general objections contain numerous boilerplate and inappropriate objections, such as vague and or ambiguous, overly broad, unduly burdensome, not reasonably calculated to lead to discovery of admissible evidence, and lack sufficient specificity to know what is demanded without any accompanying explanation. So it's just, again, wait a minute, your objection, it's boilerplate. It's inappropriate. You're not explaining why it's unduly burdensome. You're not explaining why it's vague or ambiguous or overly broad. This means that defendant's production response and supplemental response, together, the responses are entirely deficient and or akin to no objection at all, and failed to provide a basis for refusing to provide plaintiff with requested discovery. The discovery responses further include the following. Defendant incorporates by reference every general objection set forth above into each specific response set forth below. A specific response may repeat a general objection for emphasis or some other reason. The failure to include any general objection in any specific response does not waive any general objection to that request. I'm loving this right now. Oh my. Give me a second here. Now, regarding this, not waiving any general objection and incorporating the general objections into each response, United States Magistrate Judge, again quoting, oh my God, they're quoting the magistrate here, recently stated, this type of producing documents subject to or without waiving objection approach is improper and fails to preserve any objection to the discovery request. Then it notes again, what was that? Explaining that a party's practice of providing discovery response subject to or without waiving its objection is improper. See also, they give, noting, to the extent that material was produced subject to and without waiving the objection, the objecting party should not expect the objection to be sustained by this court. They're using the magistrate's cases. That's good. That is beautiful there. Because you're not referring to some ambiguous case that somebody has to go out and determine. You're talking about something that this person themselves have said. That's genius. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Because they're like, yeah, that is what I said. Now, of the 20 discovery requests, 16 of plaintiff's discovery requests were met with the same boilerplate objections, including the general objections by defendant. Defendant objected to virtually all discovery requests as overly broad, unduly burdensome, and not reasonably calculated to lead to discovery of admissible evidence, vague and or ambiguous, overly broad in the scope of time, lacks sufficient specificity to know what is demanded, encompasses information and documents which are protected by the attorney-client privilege and or the product privilege, and seeks to impose duties beyond those arising federal rules of civil procedure. Now, regarding meeting discovery requests with the same boilerplate objections included that the United States Magistrate, again, has recently stated. Oh my God. Listen to this. This is beautiful, by the way. Here again, defendant's objections are improper. This, quote, throw spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks type of boilerplate objections has been consistently recognized as ineffective. So this magistrate has been like, this approach is trash. That's what you're hearing. I mean, like I said, it's beautiful. This is a beautiful document. The law, this is quoting C. The law in the 11th Circuit makes clear that boilerplate discovery objections are tantamount to no objection being raised at all and may constitute a waiver of discovery being sought. See also, they note at 4, objections which state that a discovery request is vague, overly broad, or unduly burdensome are by themselves meaningless and deemed without merit. And also on this, see also, broad-based, non-specific objections are almost impossible to assess on their merits and fall woefully short of the burden that must be borne by a party making an objection to an interrogatory or document request. The prohibition on boilerplate objections is not new, and defendant's counsel should have been aware of it when he drafted the objections in this case. The court will not wade through boilerplate and identify which, if any, of the litany of objections may actually apply to a particular discovery request. Thus, defendant's boilerplate objections are akin to no objection at all and fail to provide a basis for refusing to comply with plaintiff's discovery requests. Although defendants have, quote unquote, attempted to provide specific objections in their response to the plaintiff's motion to compel, their attempt is unavailing. They note, again, here, as another court has explained, the court will not rely on post hoc justifications for a party's boilerplate objections. Also, another here, thus, to the extent defendants tried to raise specific objections in their response, the court finds that defendants waived these objections. And also, these objections here were facially insufficient, and thus more specific objections that might have been made are now waived. So, using boilerplates, that basically says that you are kicking it all to the curb. Isn't that beautiful, by the way? 1 second. I'm asking something. I'm trying to see something. One second here. All right. I was texting a message. Megan, by the way, if you were in the chat, read your messages. I'm asking something there. So, number 12 here. The discovery responses stated to each defendant will only produce at some unstated date the text that each defendant still, quote unquote, saved. Again, see discovery responses to request for production 1, 2, 3, and 6. This is very convenient. So if the defendant says, I didn't save it, it's gone. You like that? So what they're telling you here, listen to this again. The discovery response stated that each defendant will only produce at some unstated date the text that each defendant still saved. They're like, hey, that's convenient. So if they're like, yo, I didn't save that, well then, what's up? First party spoliation is now on display. On December 13th, 2024, in good faith effort to resolve the issues raised by the response, defendant's counsel was advised that, pursuant to, again, you have all the pursuant to, the responses were woefully inadequate in such a high-profile case like this. Please respond to this email explaining why we should not file a motion to compel the production of documents from the defendant, LMNOP and JC, and seek the entry of an order from this court compelling discovery for defendants. On or about December 22nd, 2024, defendants sent an email which included a link to just 3 files, which were 3 videos of text messages, not even the actual documents in their original source format as requested. So, on the the reply, look at this. It's 3 files, which are 3 videos. They're not actually the original text at all. They're just videos of said items. So they're not in the original formats. Defendant's most recent 12/22/2024 email was intended to be a supplemental response to the plaintiff's first request for production of documents to Ms. Preston. Only hereafter, they're going to call it a supplemental response. A copy of defendant's email has been attached. Again, that will be 4. Now, Preston's supplemental response also included these objections. Look at this. Number 1, the objections. Stand on the listed objections, although the provided communication are responsive. 2, same. 3, same. 4, I honestly can't understand what this is seeking. 5, same. You want to invade her entire history of phone calls so you can contact people to generate content. And put this is Bruce responding. This is his professional response. He's like, you want to invade her entire history instead of giving something. Oh my God. 6, what does refute to mean? It makes no sense. It's not for her to refute. Whether this refers to refuting the claim she made the comments or refuting the comment itself, it's for your client to prove she made comments and that are objectionable. I honestly don't know what you're seeking here. 7, same. 8, not sure what you're seeking. You produced her state court filings to us. Your client obtains all police records. 9, why isn't this privileged? I mean, he's asking fucking, oh my God, man. How is this real? How is this real? This is amazing. Holy God, how is this real? Oh, I love this. I love it. 10, again, it's so unspecific as to be unanswerable. 11, this information is the same as anyone can see. She doesn't have any additional unless you can explain what else you're seeking. Number 12, same as 5. You want to invade our phone calls. 13, responded. 14 and 15, responded. 16, honestly don't know what you're seeking here. 17, objections are valid. Well, let me look at something real quick. I want to look at something real fast. Let me look at a number, okay? I'm curious about something. I see 14 and 15. Okay, so he did reply. 14 and 15, the handwriting expert that they did. That says it was responded. Now we'll see what that is. Oh man. So that was responded. He did turn that over, he says, or something was turned over. I don't know if that was actually the documents we think, but the handwriting expert, quote unquote. Oh my gosh. I love this thing. I like this way too much, I have to say. 17, objections are valid, as are all others. As all others are. Objections are valid as all others are. What the fuck? 18, again, unclear and objectionable for reasons listed. 19, way too unspecific. 20, objections stand. At the same time, defendant claimed work product and attorney-client privilege as to 12 of the 20, yet failed to follow the rules of civil procedure. So out of 12 of the 20, he's saying this is attorney-client privilege, which requires the withholding party to describe the nature of the withheld documents in a manner that, without revealing information itself privileged or protected, will enable other parties to assess the claim. So he's just like, 12 of these are attorney-client privilege. Oh my God. And finally, defendant, in response to request for production 13, responded that there are no GPS records from either any automobile navigation system or mobile device sufficient to show the user's location on the 11th to the 14th, 2023. But unless defendants have already spoliated Such records are disabled devices such as unconnected or other black boxes which are installed in their vehicles and or mobile devices. This response is likely false. At the minimum, an inspection of the automobile should be presented. So they're talking about on the 11th to the 14th. BBB said, oh, no, those aren't there. And they're like, well, unless you disconnected the vehicle itself, you've already done away with this stuff. That response is likely false. At minimum, an inspection of the automobile should be permitted. As a result of the deficiencies, plaintiff engaged in exchange of emails with defendant in order to resolve these disputes. As shown, plaintiff has yet to receive any meaningful discovery. Quote, unless otherwise limited by the court, parties may obtain discovery regarding any non-privileged matter that is relevant to any party's claim or defense and proportional to the needs of the case. Information within the scope of discovery need not be admissible in evidence to be discoverable. You notice that information within the scope of discovery, you don't have to have it admissible in evidence. It doesn't have to be something that you're going to put in the case to be discoverable.
Oh my God.
Oh, just a minute. I hear a raider again. Hey, what's up? What's up, kiddo?
Mom told me to put my shrimpo
Yeah.
in the oven and on 250 for 10 minutes, and look what happened. Look, you got turned into fried shrimp.
Oh no.
Got shrimp. Swimming pea shrimpo.
The poor guy. All right. Take it up there. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. Take that up there. That's hilarious. Poor guy. You need to take a picture of that. That's beautiful.
I did.
Okay.
I gotta make a new one.
That's funny. So the oldest makes little like clay figures and stuff, right? We're talking about how to make them not sticky. So she had called her mom, and her mom told her, well, maybe put it in the oven. Maybe they'll bake it, right? So she brought it to me, and she was like, yeah, it turned it into goop, basically. She put it in and then she put it on a specific setting, and it was too high. And instead of brown and drying it out a little bit, it turned it into mush. And, I was like, oh my gosh. I thought at first she was telling me that she had made some shrimp. She had talked on the phone and found out how to make shrimp or something. But no, she had talked, and oh Lord, that's pretty funny. Oh my goodness. She just brought me like a flattened out clay person. Let's see. Let me turn this back on here. Oh, that was pretty funny. Oh Lord. Okay. So also adding to this, relevance under Rule 26 has been construed broadly to encompass any matter that bears upon or reasonably can lead to other matter that could bear on any issue that is or may be in the case. Also, again, you can see C. I just say C. You can see the whole thing there. As an initial matter, discovery should be broadly and liberally allowed. Also, the federal rules of civil procedure strongly favor full discovery when possible. A district court, I can say it in a minute, a district court, I feel like I was sneezing it out for a minute there, a district court has broad discretion in managing discovery and handling disputes. Now, A, defendant's boilerplate objections may be overruled. So, federal procedure provides that a response to request for production must, quote, state with specificity the grounds for objecting to the request, including the reasons. defendants' relevancy objections are inadequate since they fail to offer a full, fair, specific explanation as to why the requested information or documents are not relevant. Instead, the objections merely note the same boilerplate objection in general objections. As shown, such boilerplate and/or general objections are impossible and constitute a waiver of the objection to that discovery. Defendants have thus effectively waived any objections to the requests and must be compelled to provide the requested discovery. Again, what they're saying here is you put in a boilerplate that essentially is waiving it because that doesn't do it. So that would be in essence saying, I waive all objections. B, defendants have waived any claim of privilege in work product. Defendants' attempt claim of privilege are likewise deficient. When a party claims attorney-client privilege and work product protection, that party bears the burden in invoking a privilege and establishing that it exists. You can't just say, hey, that's protected. That's what that means. You can't just say 12 or 20 of these, they're protected. I'm not turning them over. That's not how it works. You have to state some reason why. And again, without giving things away, make it where somebody can assess whether or not that is error. That's what this is stating. Like the attorney-client privilege under Rule 26b3, the party asserting work product protection, quote, bears the burden of establishing its applicability, man, it took me a minute there, to the case at hand. I don't know why. Certain words, man, it's not even me. It's just, bleh, my tongue doesn't want to say it some days. Applicability. There we go. Applicability. There we go. Sound it out. Okay, here we go. The party asserting work product protection must demonstrate the material at issue. 1, is a document or a tangible thing. 2, that it was prepared in anticipation of litigation. 3, was prepared by or for a party or by his representative. In practical terms, this means that the defendant must, expressly make a claim and, well, let's say 2, describe the nature of the documents, communications, tangible things not produced or disclosed, and do so in a manner that, without revealing information itself privileged or protected, will enable other parties to assess the claim. Now, again, notation here. In some instances, if a party fails to provide a proper privilege log, the attorney-client privilege and work product doctrine asserted will be deemed null and void, baby. You like that? Nullity. Null and void. I love it. So they may, while going out and trying to just say everything is, they may have said nothing is. Isn't that weird? Isn't that beautiful? We'll see how that's ruled on. Now, defendants asserted attorney-client privilege, work product protection, to every RFP, generally via general objections, and specifically too. We'll go through these tomorrow and see exactly what they're noting that to as well. All right. So we'll see what they objected to and see if they give away the farm and not provided any support for the claims of privilege. This means defendants have failed to make a prima facie showing that any information in those, again, we'll look through them specifically and see what they are tomorrow, is privileged and have waived any such privilege at all. So, C, defendant's production to date has been woefully deficient. Accordingly, this court must hold defendants to their obligations and compel them to provide complete substantive responses to plaintiff's RFP. Even after several attempts, defendants' objections or responses are woefully deficient. Clearly, defendants' response to RFP demonstrate they are throwing spaghetti, again, quoting the judge, throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. This should not be taken well. Now, request for reasonable fees and costs. When a court grants a motion to compel, a request discovery is provided after a motion is filed. The requesting party is entitled to costs, including reasonable attorney fees, if 1, the requesting party failed to make a good faith attempt to obtain discovery without a court order, the responding party's portion was substantially justified, or other circumstances make an award of expenses unjust. Plaintiff is entitled to his reasonable attorney fees cost because, number one, undersigned counsel participated in email exchanges with the defendant in an attempt to resolve inadequate responses. Defendant's objections were not justified given the facts and applicable law, and an award of attorney fees and costs would not be unjust. So they're like, hey, you wasted our time. You made us do all this other crap. We should actually be given our money. Now, again, will they do that? You never know. You know, courts can do that if they feel that this court right now is at a I'm annoyed stage. So could they do that? Yes, very much so. They could possibly go out and do that, you know. Now, pursuant to the above, plaintiff respectfully requests that the court enter an order: 1, granting the motion to compel, overruling defendant's objections; 2, compelling the production of documents, communications sought in the request for production; and 3, awarding plaintiff the cost and reasonable attorney's fees associated with bringing this motion or any part of this motion. So again, there's our document, and it's a very well stated document. And again, they have a good good faith certification. Now, there are other documents too that add to this. We'll hit some of that stuff tomorrow. Again, but you get the idea generally of what is happening here. And wow, oh wow. Are you kidding me? Isn't that amazing? I mean, you have to admit that is pretty good stuff. Let's hit some super chats. Also, let me check something real quick. Let me check something. Just 1 second. Trying to see if... Man, YouTube does not love me some days. Now, Shizzy is live, by the way. They're going through Shara deposition. We're going to go over super chats. If you want, you can go and tune in again to Shizzy. We will redirect there. I've been trying to end where I'm not overrunning everyone, but that's a lot of documents today, you know. So if you want, like I said, if you want to go check that out, they are live. We will redirect there after super chats. I'm putting in my redirection now. I'm just noting again. I've been trying to be. Some days it works out. Some days, but I've been trying not to roll all over Shizzy with that, and I'm trying to give them some love there. So again, if you want to check them out right now, we're gonna go through super chats though. Okay. So the reason, like for the $3 super sticker, again, I've been watching super stickers and everything roll in. It's awesome. Thank you all. Appreciate you for sure. Sandy, thanks for the 30 months there. Hey there, return. Appreciate you there. Appreciate that. Life according to Martin. What's up? Thanks for the 2 there. The ecosystem, all on the gifted program. They are very impotent. It reminds me of a joke. Yeah. I think I hear a Raider one more time. Let me see. No, I guess that was just an opening and shutting the door. It reminds me of a joke, a stupid joke, but still. There's a guy who goes to a doctor's office, you know, and he's dressed really, really nice. And somebody in the lobby is like, man, you look really good there. They're like, why are you dressed so nice for the doctor? And he's like, sir, if you're going to be impotent, you got to look impotent. Anyway, misbehaving. Thank you for the gifted membership on that. It's terrible joke, but it's what it reminds me of when I think of it. Thank you, misbehaving. By the way, I've been enjoying the recommendation too. I appreciate that. You know, like I said, I'm giving myself a week to really introduce myself to everything, but thank you for the recommendation on that as well. Liz, thanks for the 2. Take my ramen money, please. Ramen money. Ramen money. Thank you. Dan Davis, thanks for the 2 there. Day 107, like you mentioned that. Again, I hit that before, but man, 107 days with a power is insane, dude. That's awful. Something needs to give with that. That's nuts. Kelly, thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Tugs. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Green Veggie Bees, thanks for the 5. Do the breadsticks mambo. Shake. What's up, Lady Tammy, by the way? Hey, how are you doing, by the way? Thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Tugs. Appreciate that right there. Thank you. Cheryl, thanks for the $2 super sticker. Appreciate that. It's awesome. I like the super sticker. I like to go back and review them. I always like looking at them. There's so many of them, so many weird ones. I like to look at them. Reed's Bunky Fam, thanks for the 20 there. There's not a statement attached, but that is a big statement. Thank you for your statement and backing. Appreciate you. Linda, thanks for the 10. Hit that like button, fools. That's right. Hit that, fool. Mr. T wants you to hit that button, fool. I love it. Momo, whoa. Thanks for the 10. Michael Volpe, supposed friend of Megan, was saying Megan Fox was covering the Hales just for money. Well, I guess it says a lot about a supposed friend, doesn't it? That's why you want to know something like here. I'm going to be very blunt with you about this. If you wonder like why I don't shout out like every random channel and its mother, that's the kind of shit why, because I've dealt with that. My friends where, yeah, they really don't act like your friends, do they? You know, I mean, they're allowed any opinion they want, but you know what? Grow on your fucking own if you want to be like that. If you got drama, you want to throw them away, that's fine. You can have any opinion you want, but you can have it without my help. That's just, you know. So I've dealt with that, but I've dealt with much worse with that, you know, like helping out with comic projects. You make somebody 10 grand helping out and they try to take down your channel or something. Yeah, no thanks for that. So you get a little trigger shy with that stuff. So again, sometimes I don't notice people. You know, that's my bad. Not enough time in the day. You know, maybe I just don't catch everybody out there. But also, after a while, you know, you become a little bit distrusting of folks. So, you know that old adage, with friends like that, who needs? So, Liz, thanks for the 2. Hey, Tug, keep up the good work. Thank you for that. The Fox and what the hales? Well, thank you for that. Yes. Megan covers a lot of things, by the way. You know, saying that she's just in it for, that's so ridiculous. You know? She's definitely done very well on what she's covered. And again, you know, people don't go after her reporting. They don't go after what she's done. They try to attribute some ridiculous nonsense. You know, it's so strange. I mean, she does have a family and everything else. You do. Like for me, I get super chats. Hell to the yes. You know, all of this stuff I used to. This is my job right now. So yeah, am I doing this for money too? Yes, but I could pick any. Like again, I think the Blake Lively thing is much bigger. But this is very meaningful. And I think a lot of people agree with that. I'm not saying that isn't meaningful either. I'm just saying right now, this has my attention fully. And I think, you know, you get into it too. And you want to see where everything lies. Part of it is because you're doing it for a good purpose. Part of it is because, well, you want to understand the whole puzzle. I mean, there's many reasons, but it's so ridiculous. Slug, thanks for the 2. Time is a flat circle. Man. I'm wondering, like, if it can flatten out enough that I can send my Terminators back. Bubbles blow up doll. Thank you for that gifted membership, Bubbles blow up doll. Man, it's alive. It's alive. Bonnie, thanks for the 5 there. Element OP said the money was donated to her and John. Saw this before. They need to decide what happens to it. Yeah, like we said, we responded to that one too. Thank you, Bonnie. Man. Emmy, thanks for the 10 there. Lynette, Misfit Crew are the ultimate epitome of the Rugasalds of the world. Indeed. Indeed. That is very true there. Bubbles Blow Up Doll, also, thank you for another gifted membership. Man, Bubbles Blow Up Doll is really out there, really rocking the Casbah. Bonnie, also thanks for the 5 there. Flea said it was donated to her channel, so she's in charge of it. No one but her knows how much it is. See, that's messed up too. It's sent to my channel, therefore I'm in charge of it. Now, again, that may be because some of that is a taxation dodge, I imagine. You know? But again, there's no clarification on how much money that is. Isn't that interesting? No one would know. Nikki, thanks for the 20. I thoroughly enjoy grabbing these screenshots and watching them have a meltdown. Indeed, I do too. I appreciate all you screenshotters for this stuff too. Oh man, it's good stuff there. Love you, Tug, Lug, Bug. Get some pizza bites. Well, thank you for that. I like I said, I appreciate all of you that throw out the screenshot. Like I said, I go in, I look at a few things in the morning, and many of you are entertaining with it. Man, Bubbles Blow Up Doll is back. Thank you again for that gifted membership. Man, dropping those giftos. Thank you, Bubbles Blow Up Doll. Freedom. Jack Miles, thanks for the 2. Flea and her ex are convicted felons in Florida. Interesting. Rick, thanks for the 2. Law office shows permanently closed. Google search. Again. Things that make you go, Suzanne, thanks for the 10. The Christmas wish list was titled for HG. The barn build is titled for HG, as well as LP and JC's names are not on the grift. Trying to circumvent rules or laws for donations. Gifting to minors. That is kind of weird on that too, isn't it? They also, they put the contact on the website, they had the contact to the child too. Like, I thought that was kind of, when you send PO box stuff, if there was something that was supposed to be included for, a kid or something, like, that's one thing, but to send it, I don't know, that's just kind of weird. And yeah, gifting to minors, circumventing laws, rules, Bubbles Blow Up Doll is back yet again. Love it. Thanks for the gifted membership again. Thank you. I do want to pull this up while we were talking. For some reason, that greatly amuses me. Rat's ass, thanks for the 2. I'm so jelly to Onyx. 50 gauge. Yeah. These days, I've just been rolling with some basics. So rolling with the basics, man. Valid Motorsports, thanks for the gifted membership. I don't know why I paused in the middle of that for some reason. I was like, Valid Motorsports, I don't know what happened there. Thanks for the gifted membership, though. Thank you. Appreciate that. John, thanks for the thing. Glad to see you made it through the snow. It hasn't hit here yet. So we have a forecast on Friday of 3.5 inches of snow. So that's what has been projected for this area. Now, will it hit? Who knows? Don't know. We will see. But Friday is supposed to be our day. So we'll have everything charged up. Hopefully everything holds. Hopefully the power holds, not just for communication, that would be good, but also for heat. So we'll see how that goes. The last snowstorm was not fun. It was fun for the kids, but it was very cold, thanks for the 5. Definitely a threat. Yes, talking about that that screenshot for sure. I hope the police find this anonymous chicken shit and charge them. Yeah, they definitely need to make some kind of contact there and ask them about that. It's amazing. You see a lot of weirdos that post anonymously over, that make some nasty stuff. You can post anonymously if you want, but making threats anonymously, thinking you're anonymous, not really. Anonymity doesn't work that way. Cunning Linguist, thanks for the 2. New Dropbox on What the Hales. Community page. More content. Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. There are some fascinating documents over here. Yes, indeed. That'll be something to look at, won't it? Patty, thanks for the 5. Just because. Well, hey, thank you to include us in your just because. That is appreciated. Thank you. Jack's mom, thanks for 5. That's not Levy County deputies. She's talking to police who actually act upon complaints. Indeed. They look like they're ready to roll too, didn't they? Those police in that picture, they look like they were ready to get out there. Nikki, thanks for the 5. Tug, you need to take a picture of Lug's creation and show us. I'll have to take a picture of the the cosplay stuff, but I want to show you a picture of that the aftermath of the poor Shrimpbo before and after. Man, Shrimpbo got jacked up. Poor little guy in the oven. It was so sad. the kiddo is like, she was like, somebody owes me a plushie for this. She's like, I'm not even kidding. She's like, the work that went into that. Someone owes me a plushie. Oh, she is so dramatic and funny. Oh, she's so funny. Emma, thanks for the 2. Luck is so creative. I love that. Yes. I mean, I let her artistic expression show her. She wrote out her first story. It was a scary story she wanted to put together. I liked it. We were talking about it. She did a draft of it, like really more like a not really fleshed out yet synopsis, but she's adding on to it now, and it's been interesting to see like what she's adding to it and everything. She's trying out writing. She likes to paint and things. I was explaining, like, I like to write, and I was telling her that writing is painting with words, and you can actually get into more detailed. If you look at that as coloration, you can get into more detailed colors than you could ever find with anything. You can get into nuance. Like, again, a picture may be worth 1,000 words, but 80,000 words, woo, baby. You really getting into something. John, man, I saw you in there, John, by the way. There's a bunch of memberships today. Thank you. 20 memberships right here. That's the beginning of a deluge of them, by the way. Thank you, John. Appreciate you, my friend. Vicky, thank you for your membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you very much, Vicky. I appreciate you. Bugs Adventures, thanks for the 5. LP and JC in the car with a child when LP was in court. So why did LP write this? It's not true. Well, there's a lot of things that she said after the fact that just aren't true, right? And yet, I mean, she said a lot of things. Like, she's just denied the reality of certain things. I didn't say that. This didn't happen. I mean, it's strange. Sometimes they're contradictory from her own statements. I never said the thing that I just said. It's strange there. And John, thanks for no problem, folks. That was basically free. I cashed in my credit card points for New Year's. Got about $1,000. Wow, man. Bravo on that, man. That right there. That is smart going, too. Having all your credit card points, paying with credit card and then bamming it out there. That's amazing. I hope you and the missus are doing great, by the way. I want to give her love, too. And I hope everybody's new year is going incredibly well. We're only 7 days into the new year. Are you not entertained so far? Crystal, thanks for the 5 there. I think any lady that's been around a weirdo in loose shorts, no-nos. And the B word in LP message is not but. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Yep. That B word. The shorts thing. I'm it's interesting. This has nothing to do with people with shorts, by the way. Like if you wear shorts, that's awesome. I don't think I ever wear shorts. Yeah, I don't. Boxer shorts maybe, but like shorts, And it's beyond the pale. I mean, that doesn't mean anything anyway. I'm just saying that randomly. But her statement that's there, again, that should trouble anybody. I don't see how people can look at that and not be troubled. John, another 20 gifted memberships too. So there's 40 right there. 40 people for gifted memberships. That's amazing, John. Appreciate that. And it continues, by the way. Victoria, thanks for the 25 on that. Mac and cheese for the Tuggets. Well, thank you very much. They love that mac and cheese, by the way. We can call it, we've got to have some more creative terms. Any creative term. I would rather pasta with flavoring. I mean, anything. Mac and cheese. I've heard enough mac and cheese in my life, haven't you? But yes, they love it. And if I told my kids to call it something else, they'd be like, what is going on, Dad? You're crazy. This one for Green Veggies. Thanks for the video. I challenge you to a whole day. No caffeine. Caffeine? Oh, I'll do a day, maybe. I might be sluggish on that. No tobacco product. I can do tobacco products for a day for sure. Like I said, I do them for live stream. It is. I do not encourage you to ever smoke, by the way. That is not good for you. Do not do it, kids, ever. But that is my method of being calm. But try it, Mr. Chicken Umbrella. I love it. I love it. That's hilarious. Thank you, by the way. Thank you for looking out for the health, too. Appreciate you. Angela Quinn, thank you for that membership. How are you doing, Angela, by the way? Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Appreciate you, too, Angela. Always. Thank you. Green Veggies, thanks for 5. Caffeine makes me sleepy. If I indulge too much caffeine, yeah, there's a crash at the end of it. So I try not to do too much of that. There's no point in it, first of all, but on the top of it, it's not good for your heart. I've been trying to do more for heart health. John, there's another 20. That's 60 gifted memberships dropped on people. Thank you, John. I love it when people drop in memberships. It's one of the greatest things, I think, that come from this platform. Memberships are the greatest there. So thank you. Emmy, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Emmy, too. Like I said, I appreciate all of you. The memberships are awesome. They make people part of this thing. So thank you. AKA the Cat Lady, thanks for the team. When we learn if the new defendants are added, we work at the court's tempo. So who knows? I mean, they could take as much time or as little time as they want. I mean, hopefully we will know decently soon. Again, the court can do anything that it wants in that too. That is not a guarantee by any means. I think there are 2 people that have really strong cases for them being added, though. I don't know about the others, but I'm saying I know 2 for a fact that I think have very strong cases. The other ones, I don't know. So I'm not commenting on whether or not they do or don't. I'm just saying 2 of them, well, we've seen quite a bit of. So the others, we'll see. Again, I don't know all the particulars that have been added with those people. But yeah, hopefully soon. Momo, whoa, thanks for the 5 there. By the way, I'm prettiest Sunday. It's balls, not butt. Yeah, it is. It's balls. Thank you. with a lot of that showed for Shara. Man, can you imagine? That's gross, though. I don't want the baby having the steel bizzles and ugh, it's so gross. All of it's gross. I don't want to think about it. Oh, why doesn't that disturb people? For real. Can you all tell me, like, why there are people out there that look at that and they just are like, no big deal? Like, why doesn't that make them think, maybe there's a problem here? Just curious. Lindy, thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tux Thugs. Thank you, by the way, Lindy. Appreciate you. Janice, thanks for the 10 there. Randy was explicit in the evidence he wanted. Yes, indeed. Dude's foreskin was being obtuse to get out of submitting the documents and evidence. He's such a schmuck. Yeah, what I think Randy did really well, like I said, is that he pointed out why this is wrong with our magistrate's words. I mean, that's slick, you have to admit. That's good. Whoa, also said, by the way, I'm pretty sure, said balls, not butt. Yeah, indeed. Y'all are right. I'm sure you all are right. My mind didn't go to the bizzles, you know. My poor innocent brain. Oh, it's gross, man. It so disturbs me. I joke and everything. I laugh at stuff, but man, that really disturbs me. Again, don't contact anyone. I feel like I need to say that again, but her own words. I also don't see how it's not a conflict of interest to have one lawyer representing John Cook, Lynette Preston. I mean, she's buried him as far as statements are concerned. She has absolutely buried him. You know what I mean? Kelly B also thanks for 5. Well, people forget the IRS is automatically notified of certain amounts of money transferred, donated, and gifted. Taxes come in many ways. Nothing is free. That is indeed correct. Yes. Yes. If you're smart with the business, you know how to deal with that if you have a good tax attorney. But if you're claiming indigent status, especially, gotta be careful. Jack Miles, thanks for the 2 there. Well, Ducey just passed an Abrams. I think he passed an Abrams. That's funny. Fantastic. Thanks for the 5 there. BBB, results of the case are the best. You lose in catastrophic fashion. At worst, you're implemented in an indictment. Yes. Luck. Fuck around, find out. Happy New Year, Doug. Thank you. Indeed. You know, they're talking about again. I can't believe he's out there talking about, you know, they're saying they're going to go after Wes. Are you kidding me? They're shopping attorneys to go after other people? Holy crap. I hope attorneys look into what they're getting involved in. Because, man, I mean, that could be really ugly. John Boy, thanks for the Tuesday, John. 1-800 better call Saul. Oh, poor Saul. Saul was a good lawyer, though. You know, corrupt, but he still worked out, didn't he? That's the AKA the cat lady thinks it too. What happens if they don't turn documents over? Well, if the judge can compel them to turn everything over. The judge can force it. And if the judge doesn't get what they want, say they refuse to, a judge could give a default decision. Like if they're like, no, judge, I'm not going to do that. They could be found contempt. They could be, there could be monetary funds. You could be talking about, bar issues, but also you could have a default judgment against somebody. So it just depends. Usually, if at this point, what the judge will do is come in and be like, they're going to look at what's been discussed here. And we'll see. We'll see what they say. But again, the judge's own words using them, I think he would make a relevant case. But yeah, they have to comply with discovery. Another thing some people try to do is run the clock out on discovery. They try to play a really stupid game. Every now and then it's worked. I mean, like Amber Heard got away with that. She ran out discovery on a lot of things, and they didn't get everything out there. But for every person that gets away with it, there's a lot of people that don't. So it's not a game you want to play. And this judge does not seem like one that has the patience to mess around. He seems like he's a no-nonsense judge. And I would not want to find out with him, you know. Rewrite, thanks for the 2 there. Lux, Clayman fell down. Yeah, there is no he didn't fall down, though. He really did fall down. It's like, oh man, Shrimbo has left the building, man. Emma, thanks for the 2. It's polymer clay, because that does need to be baked. Yeah, I think it was just settings. Like she just made a mistake on the settings where she was trying to set it up and it turned it into a blob. She's never actually hardened clay before. So, you know, she had no idea what she was doing on that. She tried it out. You know, you learn from experience, and she found it really funny. I mean, she looked at it and was like, so she had a good laugh too. 100%. Wendy, thank you for the gifted membership on that. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Thank you. Sarah, thanks for the 3 months there. I'm having a lumbar puncture tomorrow with chemo to make sure leukemia is not in my brain. I just spent 5 weeks in the hospital having chemo. Well, like I said, I've had relatives, loved ones that have dealt with stuff there, and you have my love, my support, praise, anything I can send with you there. And I hope, and I wish nothing but the best for you. If you're able to come in, like you said, you're having a day. I know how those days, I've seen them. I'm not experienced like that. I'm not saying I have, but if you're having days and you need people around, there are plenty of people support that give love to you. Man, like I said, nothing but love to you. For sure. Cheryl, thank you for the gifted membership too. Thank you very much. Appreciate you on that. Thank you. Kelly, thanks for the 10. Love y'all. Lynette and Crook need to go to jail. Well, they feel like they want to work their way there. Again, I feel like sometimes Lynette's trying to put John Cook in jail. Like you make statements like that about somebody. You say that your child made those statements. What is the end goal with that? Like, what do you think the end goal is for her? Because it's not sympathy. Like that, people don't just say, oh, well, that's nothing there. Like, what's the end goal if it's not jail? She tried to put him in jail, in my opinion, when they came with a warrant. Like, here's everything. Yes, he did it. So, concealed it up until then. It feels like it, doesn't it? Susan, thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tux Thugs. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. Amy, thanks for the 5. Sent you a coffee to help wake up from Megan's return. Much love to you. I saw that, by the way. Thank you. Thank you for the coffee there. I actually sent, I did see that pop in. Fun times with that, I have to say. You know, I love it. Also, JS, I want to give you props too. You also sent a coffee. Thank you. I use initials because, again, I don't know if the name's shown to me. Never know how that is, so I'll just use initials with that. Thank you. Appreciate you. Sticky Widget, thank you for the gifted membership. Sticky. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for the gifted membership. Appreciate it. Shooting Star, thanks for the 5. Daddy Tug, treat or coffee? Thank you. I may, actually, I like, you know what I like? I like chai teas. Good morning. I like that, like this cold day, you know, breathing that in, get that steam. Like a little bit of that chai tea. Like that quite a bit. Pickle Tink, thanks for the vibe. Well, ended up in the hospital last night after a seizure. Are you okay now? You said it ended up last night. Are you still there? Or are you okay? I hope you are okay, by the way. I'm just asking. You know, I'm curious about you. Love to you. Again, appreciate you. And a lot of people, like we have our great days. There's some of us that are going through a lot. Because I love to all of you out there. And if your days are days like that, man, hope the rest of the year gets much better for you. But yeah, love to you. Appreciate you. Weezy Wheels, thank you for the 5 gifted membership. By the way, Weezy, I hope you're doing okay too. Hope you and yours for sure. Love to you too. Emma, thanks for the 5. I have atrial fibrillation, so I decaf. Doesn't wake me up, but it tastes good. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think I'm getting to the point, like, I don't use a lot of salt anymore. Got to the point in my life where body doesn't like it. You know, there's some things that as I get older, it's like, no more of that. So sometimes if you like the taste, that's my grandparents, for example, throughout my entire life. You know, all they did was drink coffee. And we got to a certain point in life that was like, oh, can't drink the caffeine anymore, but all they drink was coffee anyway because they like the taste of it. I don't think I ever saw them drink anything else. No water, no nothing. Coffee. That's like all my granddad ever drank. He'd be out on a farm working, going out with cattle working, coffee. Like, I was like, man, don't you ever get dehydrated? Don't you need some water? Coffee. But, man, maybe he had water. I didn't know about it. And Janie, thank you for that membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Tux Thugs. And Wheezy Wheels. Man, thanks for the 2. 3:30 a.m. here in the UK. Insomnia is a real struggle. I get that, man. I go through days. I hear about that where I'm like, I can't sleep. Can't sleep. But then I have days where I crash out. You know, those days are real. You just go until you can't go. Now, coffee is water essentially too. Yeah, you know, coffee, like, it dries your mouth out and stuff. I guess when you're getting decaf, I guess a little different, maybe. But, oh no. Theirs wasn't watered down either. It was like strong black coffee. You know, I mean, that's how I drink coffee too. I like black coffee. If I'm going to drink it, I don't need it to be a candied treat. You know, I want it to be like a spike in my brain. Bam, wake me up. But anyway, we are at the end of Super Chats. I am going to turn you over to Shizzy Wiznut. I hope that you go over there. If you're in Insomniac, I mean, if you're having fun, whatever. He's putting on a reading. We're going to send you over there. Hope you are having a great one again. We will pick it up tomorrow. We will do something entertaining there. But tell him Tug sent you. Give him the old Tug raid. And appreciate you. Ended it.